Hey everyone, welcome to day 3 of our AWS Essential Challenge. In the last section, we explored the AWS Management Console and learned about core cloud service models. Today we are diving deep into one of the most important AWS services, that's Amazon EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. By the end of this video, you will understand what EC2 really is, how it works behind the scenes, what the hypervisor does, how to launch, connect and manage your own EC2 instance. Let's get started. So, what exactly is Amazon EC2? EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. It's a service that gives you virtual machines in the cloud. These machines are called EC2 instances. You can think of EC2 as your on-demand data center. You choose the size, operating system, CPU, memory and storage. And AWS spin it up for you in a second. Now let's take a closer look at how EC2 instance actually run behind the scenes through something called virtualization. At the very bottom here, you can see the physical server layer. This is the actual hardware inside AWS data centers. It contains the CPU, storage, network and disk resources, just like powerful physical computer. But instead of dedicating this entire machine to one person, AWS uses special software layer called the hypervisor. The hypervisor is what makes virtualization possible. It acts as a manager between the physical hardware and the virtual machine that run on top of it. You can think of it like an operating system for servers. It decides how much CPU, memory and storage each virtual machine should get and make sure everything runs smoothly and security without interfering with each other. Above the hypervisor, we have the virtual machine layer. Each of these boxes represent the virtual machine, or what AWS calls an EC2 instances. So every time you launch an EC2 instance, you are actually creating one of these virtual machines on top of the hypervisor. It has its own operating systems, its own storage and network configuration, completely isolated from other instances running on the same physical server. In AWS, this hypervisor technology is part of the Nitro system, a combination of dedicated hardware and lightweight software that provides better performance and stronger isolation between instances. The Nitro hypervisor helps reduce overhead, improve speed and increase security, which is why AWS EC2 instances can perform so efficiently even when sharing resources across thousands of users. So in short, the physical server provides the hardware, the hypervisor virtualize and manage resources, and the virtual machines or your EC2 instance running on top of it. That's the power of virtualization. It's what allows AWS to scale, secure and manage millions of cloud servers globally. Now, let's talk about the types of EC2 instance available in AWS. Each instance type is designed and optimized for a specific kind of workload. The first one is general purpose instance, offer a balance of CPU, memory and networking. That's are great for web servers, development environments or small databases. Second is compute optimized instances, are designed for CPU intensive tasks such as gaming servers, batch processing or scientific modeling. Third is memory optimized instances, are built for workload that need lot of RAM such as in-memory database or high performance analytics. The fourth one is storage optimized instances, are ideal for big data, data warehousing and high-speed storage access. They use fast non-volatile memory SSDs to handle massive read and write operation. And finally, accelerated computing instances. This is where things get exciting. These instances are special hardware like GPU, graphic processing unit and FPGA, field programmable gate array, to boost performance for highly complex workloads. Together, these instance families allow AWS to support any workload from simple web app to large-scale AI and high-performance computing. Okay, let's launch an EC2 instance together. I will walk you through every option so you know what to choose and why. Log in to the AWS console. First, choose region. Check the region in the top right of the console. Pick the region closest to the user or to your other resources. Regions matter for latency, pricing, and data residency. Open EC2 if not present in the recently visited. You can search it and click Launch Instance. Select an AMI, Amazon Machine Image. You will see AMIs. These are OS templates. For Linux, choose Amazon Linux 2 or Ubuntu. For Windows, choose a Windows Server AMI. AMIs may include extra software. Always read the description. For labs, the official Amazon Linux or Ubuntu images are safe choices. Next, select instance type. Pick an instance type. This determines CPU and RAM. For LANing, choose T2 micro or T3 micro. These are usually free tier eligible. For production, pick families based on workload: compute optimized, memory optimized, storage optimized, or accelerated. Next, create or select key pair, that SSH key. The console will ask for key pair for SSH or RDP access. Choose create new key pair if you don't have one and give it a name. Download the .pem file and store it securely. If you lost the .pem file, you cannot SSH into the instance. Create a new key or use other recovery steps. Next, configure instance details, that is network and more. Next is configure instance detail. Key options, network, that is VPC. Pick your VPC, default is fine for labs. Subnet and availability zone, go with no preference. Auto assign public IP, select enable its default option. Next, configure security group, that is firewall. Name the security group. Give description, but it's optional only. This is crucial. Security groups are virtual firewalls. Create or select a security group that allows only the ports you need. For example, SSH is connected in the port 22. Second one is HTTP. The port is 80, open to the world if hosting a public website. The third is HTTPS. The port is 443, open if using TLS. I will add one security group rule. Next, add storage. Now configure the storage, EC2 root volumes or EBS volumes. Pick the GP size you need. Default is 8 GB. You can increase and decrease the size. Volume type GP3, general purpose or GP2. IO1, IO2 for heavy IO. I will go with the default option. And size is 8 GB and volume GP3. Next, you can choose number of instances. I will go with 2 instances at a time. Finally, review everything: AMI, instant type, storage, tags, security group, and key pair. Click Launch Instance. AWS will start provisioning your EC2. Now instances are successfully launched. Now I can edit the instance by server 1 and server 2. Now you can see all the details of your EC2 instances: that name, instance ID, instance state, type, public IP, and etc. Here you can check the instance status and alarms, monitoring, security, networking, storage, and tags. Now let's see how to stop, start, and terminate an EC2 instance, and also how to change the instance type in the AWS Management Console. First, I am going to stop the instance. First, select the instance you want to stop. Go to the Instance State menu. Click Stop Instance. You will notice there's an option called Stop Production. Right now, it's disabled, so you can stop or terminate the instance directly. Once you click Stop Instance, AWS will initiate the stopping process. It usually takes a few seconds. After that, you will see the instance status change to stopped. Next, start the instance. Now, let's start it again. Select the stopped instance. Go to Instance State, choose Start Instance. The instance will begin starting up, and within a few minutes, its status will change to running. Next, enable stop production. If you enable stop production, AWS will not allow you to stop the instance. Let's see how it works. Go to Actions, Instance Settings, Change Stop Production. Enable the option Enable Stop Productions and click Save. Now try to stop the instance again. You will get an alert message saying fail to stop the instance. That's because stop production is enabled. To stop the instance, you must go back and uncheck the stop production option. Next, enable the termination production. Similarly, you can protect your instance from accidental termination. Go to Actions, Instance Settings, Change Terminations Protection. Enable the termination protections and click Save. Now, if you try to terminate the instance, AWS will block the action and show an alert message. Fail to terminate the instance. To terminate it, simply disable termination protection. Then try again. Next, change instance type. If you want to change the instance type, for example, from T2 micro to T3 micro, follow these steps. First, stop the instance. You can't change the type while it's running. Once it's stopped, go to Actions, Instance Settings, Change Instance Type. Choose your new instance type from the list. Click Change Instance Type. Now start the instance again. When it's running, your new instance type will be applied successfully. That's how you can start, stop, terminate, and resize your EC2 instance safely and easily using the AWS Management Console. Always use stop or termination protection for important instances to avoid accidental deletion. Next, launching an Apache web server on EC2, that's Ubuntu instance. Now that your EC2 instance is running, let's connect to it and set up a simple Apache web server. Step 1. Connect to your EC2 instance. For that, go to your EC2 instance list in the AWS Management Console. Select your instance and note the public IPv4 address. Click the Connect button. This will open a terminal window directly in your browser. Once connected, press Ctrl+L to clear the screen for a fresh start. Step 2. Get root access. To perform administrative tasks, switch to the root user. That's sudo-i or sudo su. Step 3. Sudo apt update-y, sudo apt upgrade-y. Step 4. Install Apache Web Server. Now install the Apache Web Server. Sudo apt install-y Apache 2. Enable Apache to start automatically on boot. Sudo systemctl enable Apache 2. Next, start the Apache services. Sudo systemctl start Apache 2. Check the status of the Apache server. Sudo systemctl status Apache 2. If it shows active, that is running, your web server is successfully up and running. Step 5. Verify in browser. Copy your public IPv4 address from the EC2 instance details. Open your browser and paste it in the address bar. Make sure to use http:// before the IP address, not HTTPS. You should now see the default Apache 2 Ubuntu welcome page. This means your web server is working perfectly. That's it. You have successfully connected to your EC2 instance and hosted your first Apache web page using Ubuntu on AWS. Now, let's understand how EC2 pricing works because cost optimization is one of the most important parts of cloud infrastructure. AWS offers 5 main pricing models for EC2 instances. The first one is on-demand instances. You pay only for the compute time you use. No long-term commitments. It's great for beginners, testing or short-term workloads. Think of it like a pay-as-you-go model. The second one is reserved instance. Here you commit for 1 or 3 years and AWS gives you 70% discount compared to on-demand. Perfect for steady, predictable workload like web apps or databases that run 24/7. The third is spot instances. These are extra EC2 capacities that AWS sells at a big discount, sometimes up to 90% cheaper than on-demand. But there is a catch. AWS can reclaim these instances at any time when capacity is needed. Spot is great for flexible workload like batch jobs, simulations, or AI model training. The fourth is saving plans, a modern and flexible alternative to a reserved instance. You commit to a consistent amount of compute usage, dollar per hour for 1 or 3 years. But you can change instance types or region without losing your discount. It's best for dynamic environment where your architecture keeps evolving. The fifth one is dedicated host. This option gives an entire physical server dedicated only to your account. No other AWS customers share the same hardware. It's ideal for compliance-heavy workloads, software license requirements, or security-sensitive organizations that needs full hardware isolation. For example, if you are just learning or experiment, use the AWS free tier EC2, like the T2 micro or T3 micro instance. It's completely free for 12 months and perfect for practice setups. Today, you learned everything from what EC2 is, how it works, how to launch and manage instances, to understanding the hypervisor behind the scene. In day 4, we will explore AWS storage. Stay tuned. Thank you.